Hey y'all, it's Amanda and this is my Texas Zone 8 garden, and before we dive in, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share this with a fellow gardening friend. Okay, I'm out in the backyard. We're gonna work on this back area, excuse me, but I also just noticed that one of my urns is completely gone. One of the topiaries died. My guess is I had some watering issues. So why don't we take a look at that first and then we'll get working over here. All right, so this guy is this is completely dry. Okay, I'm gonna go turn on my drip irrigation and see what ended up happening because this was fine just a few days ago. I'm not sure what the issue is. All right, let me see if I can get in here, see if I see drip going to all the regular places it needs to go. There's drip there. So there's totally drip still working here. I'm not sure what happened, y'all. Look. Just for reference, let me show you the other one. But drip is definitely working. And this is the other one, which looks perfectly fine. I'm not sure what happened. I'll check my drip irrigation and see if it's just not getting enough. Darn. All right, we'll focus back on the back. Yeah, I'm just not sure what ended up happening with that. It's getting water. I don't know if it just wasn't getting enough. Now, I'm not going to be too upset because that is a Zinnia Topiary. And it is tropical, so I was going to have to dig it up and try to overwinter it, and I was really considering not doing it, so I mean that does save an issue. But I'm looking over here and I know that this is what I need to deal with. But now that I saw over here, I think we might switch gears and go over here and do some work. I know, let's do it. Okay, I wasn't going to deal with this area yet because of all the pollinators, but it's annoying me and I'm over it now. So we're going to start by cutting everything back in this bed. So this like currently has a whole bunch of zinnias, which have been lovely this year. And I hadn't been messing with them too much because of all our pollinators, but I mean, I do have a lot of other stuff in the garden. And as I was just going back to start working on that, I was just like, I just don't want to. I want to work on this really bad. It's not attractive. It's overrun by spider mites now. So I just really want to get in here and deal with it. Now, this garden faces south that way. It gets lots of sun during the day with the exception of right about now. It's right about 10 o'clock. And it gets a little shade from my maple tree over here. And I'm just cutting off the ends of the tops of the zinnias at this point to start off with. And then once I get these down a little bit lower, then I'll go in and I'll cut them all the way to the soil level. And then one of the things that we'll do is once this is cleared out, we'll go ahead and put some of these dried zinnias, see all these right here? Put some of these dried zinnias back into the bed along with this massive sunflower that I've got over here. What is that? It's pretty glorious, huh? Whew. Oh my gosh, this feels good. Been looking for this for a while, wanting to deal with it. That's one zinnia plant. Okay, got all of that out. Plus all my stakes. Let me go put those up. All right, I'm gonna start by pulling out my fencing that helps me deal with armadillos. So I do have an armadillo that loves my garden. All right, let me get in here. Oh my gosh, that was a lot of space. All right, and so basically I'm just gonna start going through and pulling out weeds. Everything in here is gonna be a weed. I'm not really wanting to disturb the soil too much. In this bed, I like to plant my ranunculus. And I actually just saw that Eden Brothers is shipping the last of my ranunculus, and then my friend Lita is sending me some ranunculus corms. So once all of those get here, I will do a video on pre-sprouting my ranunculus. And for me, I like to pre-sprout and plant them in the fall. And it works way better for me here in the North Texas area to do that than planting in the spring. In truth, we just don't stay cool enough long enough for these in early spring. We get pretty hot pretty quickly in early spring here. And let me get this is a, whew. I don't want to rip the whole thing up if I can get away with it. We get pretty warm pretty quickly here in early spring. Okay, well, I didn't rip the other one up, and then I just pulled this one up. And we get too cool too quick for ranunculus to really have enough time to produce. So I like to start them in the fall, get them planted out, usually mid to late October. I feel a little late this year just because I'm waiting for those new varieties to show up. And we'll pre-sprout them. We'll plant them out here. And then once they'll get going for the winter. They'll grow all winter, and then they'll be ready to go to produce blooms earlier in the spring for me. The whole situation just works way better. And one of the big things with ranunculus corms is they don't like to freeze. So I do have to put frost cover, and I usually like to run some incandescent lights through this bed. So if we get really intense frost, they're protected. Or freezes, they're protected. Is there anything more satisfying than like weeding a garden? And this one's pretty easy because it's pretty moist. Got a lot of sedge grass in there, but just keep pulling on that stuff. Probably not gonna treat the sedge grass in the beds because it's gonna make it harder for growing stuff here in the future, in the bed in the future. And I don't want that. I'd rather just deal with pulling the annoying grass. So as many of y'all know, I've been keeping my tasks a little more simple in the garden, and it has been working for me. Today, in fact, I'm even shooting 2 videos. I'm shooting this one, and then I'm going to move on and do a live around lunchtime and harvest some flowers and arrange them. I feel so much guilt pulling this up, but y'all, was really tired of looking at it. Trying to leave it as long as possible for the pollinators, but I don't know, the more I think about it, the more I'm bummed about that topiary. It's okay. It was just so beautiful, and I don't know, I guess maybe because we're in a drought, so while it was getting drip, it just wasn't getting enough. But it's weird that the other one's still in good shape. Where are y'all? There you are. Got a rose. I think it's Chicago Peace. I don't recall. But we're going to actually do a little bit of trimming on it because it definitely needs a little cleanup. Usually when I prune roses, I cut above a set of 5 leaves. A lot of times on roses, there'll be sets of 3 and 5. And if you cut above a set of 5, it should encourage another round of blooms. Whether or not I'll get another round of blooms prior to our first freeze, that's anybody's guess. But this does need a little bit of cleanup. And it's actually not on a drip system, surprisingly. Goals for next year. Well, I say goals for next year, but I actually think that there's a good chance that this guy will end up in the ground in my new back garden eventually. And I also have a Lincoln, Mr. Lincoln rose back over here. It actually needs to be watered. We'll go ahead and trim this and water this too. It's not happy where it's at. I think I'm just going to trim this down pretty far. I think this guy is going to go into the ground too. This guy was kind of difficult this year because earlier on I had a cardinal nest in it, which was insane. And I couldn't really, every time I came over here, the cardinals were very upset. And then eventually they knocked all their eggs out because I think this was not the best choice, especially when I had 2 dogs out here. It's not the best choice for them. Let's get these watered. I'm laughing at this massive turn of events and that I had all intention of working on this back garden, and as soon as I saw this topiary, I don't think there's any hope for it. Let me give it a little bit of water just because. Then I saw this topiary and I was like, oh, I will say it has a lot of spider mites on it, so it might have just succumbed to that. And I do think the soil feels very compacted. And I have a lot of plants in here. Might have just been too much. And it might have been hard for the water to get through, and let that soak in. Anyway, turn of events, ended up shifting from one project to a completely different one. And then I truthfully, after I water these, I think I'm going to deal with some of the climbing roses behind me because they are growing very fast. So I think I'm going to take a little time and weave them through the lattice over here so that it's easier to walk through that path. I'm really guessing on this that it's just root bound, that there's just way too many plants in here and couldn't get moisture down as far as it needed, which that's fine. I didn't do these up for fall, but we will do them up for winter. So we'll strip all that out. We'll probably put all new fresh soil in. And I'll put my snowman topiaries out here and we'll do faux, well, I might do Dusty Miller, we'll see. We'll do some pretty plants out here. Dusty Miller and some like violas and pansies would be really pretty. I'm watering this one over here in hopes that I don't lose it. We've been in a massive drought. We need rain real bad. Okay, I've got 2 climbing roses over here that were brand new this year from Bare Root. On this side, it's Zephyrin Drohen. And I will say, on this side, Zephyrin Drohen, this side is Eden Climber. And I will say, literally until like the last 6 weeks, these guys have not done all that much. And then all of a sudden, boom, they're growing like crazy. And there's massive canes. Like, look at this. Like literally 6 weeks ago, this Zephyrin Drohen had barely any, it had like 3 canes total. That was it, which is insane to me. So what I'm going to start doing is, I think I'm going to start weaving some of these in. And actually I can go without gloves on the Zephyrin Drohen because it is thornless. All right, and I'm going to use some zip ties, Velcro, garden Velcro, to bring some of these canes in a little closer. Probably going to cut away the smaller, weaker canes and just focus on these larger ones. Because I think that'll be more helpful to the plant in the end. Can I tell you how much I've enjoyed these lanterns out here? Got from Costco. I had ended up buying an extra set. I had these 2 already out here, and then I bought an extra set that I was going to use, and then I ended up utilizing it on my sister's front porch instead, and she loved them too. But they end up having them next year, and they still have them on the they still have them on their website. But I definitely will utilize them. If they have them again, I'll definitely buy some more. I'd love to have maybe a dozen throughout my garden, but they're kind of pricey. I mean, they were $30 each this year. So my guess is they'll be $35, $40 next year. So I have to save for that. All right, and I'm going to put gloves on to deal with the Eden. I am so psyched to see these guys. I mean, this has been a 2-year process building and designing the raised beds with this trellis between it, and then finally deciding what I want to plant in it. So I'll be really excited to maybe this next spring to see these all bloom for the first time. Okay, and then I did want to say I was going to put zinnias and sunflower seeds in this bed, but now I'm not going to because, of course, I'm recalling that I put all my ranunculus in here. And I don't really want other stuff growing with the ranunculus until the ranunculus are out. And then at that time, I can seed a bunch of stuff in here. All right. Hope y'all enjoyed today's video. Took a massive turn. I guess my next video will be the back part. This actually makes me feel really good Those zinnias have been bothering me for a while, so now I don't have to look at them anymore, which is really good. So that makes me feel nice. And then getting these going is exciting. I think one of the next parts I need to do is allow these to continue to grow through the season. And then I need to get a ladder and start training them up over the top part. I think it'll be good. All right, you all. Highly suggest smaller, simpler projects. It's been feeling really good. I actually feel like I've been getting more done just doing some of the smaller things. And it feels good because a lot of things I'm doing just make the garden feel clean and getting ready for the winter, which is really nice. All right, y'all, as always, make sure you like and comment on the video. Every time you like and comment, it helps grow the video and my channel so much. And if you don't feel comfortable leaving a comment, just drop me an emoji below, letting me know that you made it to the end of the video. And you say hi. It's not that I was doing that much, I'm just tired. And check me out in my Patreon community. The link is in the video description below. It's all things She's a Mad Gardener, all things gardening. Just a bunch of people who like to talk about gardening. It's a much more closed private group compared to something like Instagram, Facebook, or TikTok, which is really nice. So we share what's going on and what everybody's up to. I also share lives. I also do exclusive videos, and then I do photo sharing and group chats. It's all lovely. So come check us out and come say hi. As always, she's a mad gardener or a decorator or anything else that she wants to be. Thanks, y'all.